And now, chats with MTG Flavor Source on Walls and Wolverine, starring Bread Deck Wins and MTG Flavor Source. So, Bread, you were telling me that you had a fun Commander game last Wednesday.
Yeah, this Wednesday, it was sort of fun. I got kind of mauled by Wolverine.
The Marvel Wolverine.
Yeah, Marvel Wolverine. He gets really big and deals a lot of commander damage very quickly.
So how did your opponent do that?
So he's playing the enchantments from the D&D set, like the commander ones. So Wolverine was raised by a giant. He was a tavern brawler. Yeah, he was all kinds of things. He had a variety of backgrounds. And he put the hurt on me. And I tried to kill him, and he just would regenerate, so not much I could do.
I mean, that was a obvious thing to put on Wolverine, was regenerate, because he's just, I mean, that's his power. Apart from being really angry as well, I guess that's the other power. He goes berserk, and he has the classic berserk text of doubling his
And he gets bigger for
well.
each time he deals damage to another creature. He gets a counter.
Oh, yeah, full berserker. But yeah, I like... Regenerate's a funny ability because it's very flavorful, but it actually doesn't really work in the rules now. At least it doesn't work in a way that's flavorful. When I played Magic as a kid, this was in the late 90s, regeneration was a thing you did after they got damaged. And so you regenerated in response to the lethal damage, and then the creature was tapped and then taken out of combat. So you can understand that they've been killed and they're pulling themselves together, a bit like all the classic images of Wolverine.
Yeah.
But it kind of doesn't work now because now you can't react to the damage, and you put like a regeneration shield on before the damage is dealt. So it's kind of, it's not as good. And that's why they've moved to Indestructible, which is something you can kind of do proactively. And they talk about regeneration as creating a regeneration shield, which doesn't really make sense. It's not what Wolverine does, for example. Anyway, and then, I mean, of course, there's that classic regeneration text, Wrath of God, destroy all creatures, they cannot be regenerated, which is largely flavor text, except for Wolverine.
Yeah, God smiting Wolverine down.
Another thing I wanted to talk about was my favorite deck, which is Arcades, and Walls in particular. You might have seen one of my videos recently that, Walls are not very good flavorfully, particularly where the wall is just, a wall of a building. Walls are mechanically creatures, but most of them are just walls.
They're just buildings, yeah.
Or ice, or wind.
Swords.
Swords, that's a good one. That one's really weird, and one of the images of the Wall of Swords, the original one has these swords all flying in the air, and then like this goo that's trying to get through the wall, which is kind of weird because the goo could just get through the wall, like this slime or whatever it is. Anyway, what I love about that kind of Magic, and this is what I love about Commander generally, is making crappy cards really good. And so Arcades turns, 0/8 walls into 8/8 beaters that cost you 2 or 3 mana. Like, that's just nuts. And it only works because in order to have... what I mean is it only works flavorfully because in order to have walls attacking, you have to have walls as creatures. Mm-hmm. And walls are only creatures because they had to be able to block in Magic. And people like Mark Rosewater hate the flavor of that, but it's so ingrained in Magic that it's still here. And so although it's a flavor fail, you use the weird non sequitur of walls being creatures to enable some really funny flavor bits, like where you can animate the wall using Animate Wall.
Yeah.
Which has probably one of the best artworks ever. I'll let you pull it up because it's great.
Yeah. looks like a thwomp from Mario. He's just gonna crush you. With his little.
I mean, they have big frowny faces, right?
He's very upset at being animated. He does not appreciate being animated, I think.
I just love how he's weirdly floating in midair. I'm sure that's like just forced perspective or something, but it's just like this. And the woman who's either conjuring him or going, I'm scared of the wall. It's just sort of so weird. Sort of this 1950s horror thing going on there.
Yeah, just the way her hands are like awkwardly angled is interesting.
But yeah, like definitely walls are just like mostly bits of stone on the side of a castle.
They have the potential to be animated, right? Or they have the potential to do something else besides be a piece of wall, besides be a piece of stone, I guess. And that's what makes them creatures, I guess.
Yes, and I guess it's like in the same way as the color pie is inherent to every magic plane, walls being able to attack somehow is inherent to every magic plane. It's the mutable physical truth of magic world that walls could do this. I would say one of my favorite things that I've ever done in a Commander game was winning with a crashing drawbridge, which is a remarkably good card for a lot of decks in Commander. People should play it more because being able to give all your creatures haste with a tap in any color for 2 mana is pretty
if you're
good.
not in red, or you definitely would consider it if you're like a creature deck.
Even if you're playing like mono blue and you play like with a lot of big sphinxes and stuff, they're not usually able to attack the first turn. If you got one of these out, and it's a wall, so it helps you stay alive for a bit.
Oh yeah, could do stuff with tappers, yeah.
You can do some stuff with it, particularly in token strategies where you create tokens. But yeah, it's a wall, and the flavor's good. Like the massive knights is on one side of the moat wall, waiting to charge out, and then when the drawbridge comes down, attack. But you could animate the drawbridge, and it's then it will wander along and smash people with its drawbridge.
It'll let everybody else cross, and then it'll cross and get up and start, grow its little arms and legs, beat up people.
Yeah, and then with that little drawbridge, it'll just walk around smashing people on the ground.
Yeah.
With it. But yeah, I had a game where I was playing Arcades. I cast Last March of the Ents, which lets you draw cards equal to the highest toughness on the board. I had that crocodile defender thing from Murders in Karlov Manor, which is like a 2/15 or whatever. So 15 cards, draw 15 cards. You can play all those cards, all the creature cards instantly. One of them was Crashing Drawbridge. I had enough to be lethal because I had Arcades out, but I didn't have haste. Crashing Drawbridge could give haste, but it was summoning sick. But I did have Swiftfoot Boots, which I was able to equip to the wall, to the Crashing Drawbridge. So he's got boots on. And then I was able to tap the wall, the drawbridge, and then everything could attack and I could win. But I love the idea of the boots on the drawbridge.
Yeah, do you just set the boots on the drawbridge, or like how do you attach them? How does it wear boots?
I mean, it's not animated yet. Oh no, Arcades is out, so maybe it grows its little stubby feet.
True. It grows its two feet in its face.
Like, if it's just the wall without animation, you just have to hang them on, like a horseshoe. You hang on the door.
You tie the laces together and throw them across.
Yeah. Or is it like when you're in college and someone's put the tie on the doorknob to say don't come in? There's some doorknob you can tie the boots on which says come in.
Right, that little circle right in the center, that's where it's grown the face.
Yeah, so that's my favorite thing I've ever done in a Commander game, and it's all boots on a wall.
Boots on a wall.
So that's all we'll say right now. Come listen to us more. It's our first go at doing this. We hope you like what you hear. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on MTG Flavor Source. If you like what you see, please like, share, or subscribe. See ya.